I'm gonna count down to 5. Bonnie! Come on! Come on up! Bonnie! 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 1, 2. Alright, I've got one more. I need one more. Alright, go! Alright, we've got 5. Alright. Name and country. My name is Rahmawati. I'm from Indonesia.
I'm Nguyễn from Vietnam.
I'm Anhar from Indonesia.
สวัสดีค่ะ My name is Sunny from Thailand.
Xin chào, my name is Phương, I'm from Vietnam.
Awesome. Alright, here are the rules. You have 15 seconds to show us your best dance moves. Yep. And then it's up to you all to judge them. Okay? So, as soon as they're done, I'm going to hold my hand out, and by applause, whoever gets the loudest applause, screams, etc., is going to be our winner for the evening. Sound good? Yeah. Okay. Can we get some music?
Actually, I got a better idea.
Alright, go for it! Alright, cut it off! Woo! Alright, one more. Alright! Vote Alright, you're all winners! Okay, now I'm gonna pull. Where'd she go? Alright, she's got something for everyone. That's right, you guys get on your feet, Alright.
Okay, everyone, I'm going to teach you how to dance, and then the name of this song called Hippo. Hippo is short for hippopotamus. Yeah, and then we're going to do the act just like the hippo. Okay? Okay, the Thai, can you please stand up and sing it? Okay.
Thai, you stand up. Your name is Thai.
มาเอาไมค์ไหมคะจะได้ร้องดังๆ
ได้
You know about Thai song? Oh, you know that something called Google Translate. Okay, but you need to do the move. Can you do this? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh.
ฮิปโปโอ้โหตัวมันใหญ่มันเดินอุ้ยอ้ายมันเดินอุ้ยอ้ายลาลาลาลาลาลาลาลาลาลาลาลา Okay, now you all stand up, please. When hip, you can go in front, go forward, okay? Hip out, hip po. Oh, don't. Okay. you all stand up, please? Everybody stand up.
Okay,
Okay, thank you very much. Alright. There comes a time in every single workshop like this where everybody's tired and you're ready to go to bed and you're just like, my brain is dead, I can't think anymore. And you have to dig deep. So I need one more volunteer. No dancing involved. And there's actually a prize for this one. Okay. No dancing. Alright. Speaking. Okay. I need you to put this piece of tape as high as you can put it while standing on the floor.
Use the chair.
While standing on the floor.
I can jump.
Yep.
Ah.
Okay. It's as far as you can go. With a little bit of incentive, can you go any higher? It's yours if you can get it. You get to try again, you get to try again. Use whatever resources are at your disposal. Alright! Very good, very good. So at a time like this, when you're tired and you're down, sometimes you just need a little bit of incentive, and maybe you need a little tool to help you get to that next step. So, speaking of tools, we are going to talk to you about the power of technology and tools that can help you take your project to the next level. So, to help me with this, I have a couple presenters with me. Richmond from the U.S. Department of State, Whitney, who you know well, and Tila, who will join us on stage in a minute. But, yes, big round of applause. But to kick us off, we're going to give you a quick example of how the power of technology can bring about very big changes for your programs. So, Richmond.
All right, thanks. Good evening, everyone. All right. So I'm just glad to help introduce the next segment of our talk this day. So we're actually going to be talking about Go Online Social Media Technology as a Tool. So when I was invited to sort of introduce this next segment like 2 minutes ago, I was actually glad I accepted this because this is a topic that is actually really important. We were talking about resources earlier and how you think we can convince potential partners or potential corporations to help us out carry our projects. So I'd like to give you an example of what happened in the Philippines. So as I was just watching things online, it was like everybody does, and YouTube and all those things. We actually were watching videos, and I saw this video and I watched it, and it's actually a project of one of our alumni. So this person is actually in charge, this is the president of My Shelter Foundation, and I saw in the video that he makes use of plastic bottles, and they maximize the use of plastic bottles by creating bulbs or lights for homes. So when we contacted him, we just thought that this idea is great. So we contacted him being another one, we thought that, hey, this is a project that is worth supporting. So by making use of YouTube, by making use of social media, it actually gathers the attention and sparks interest among a lot of people. So I would like to let you know that what happened with that is that the U.S. Embassy Manila contacted ILA and we gave them a small grant. And so what happened with that grant is that ILA actually trained some people from the TESTA. It's an office that actually provides skills enhancement and training to Filipinos. So they actually trained all those trainers. Those trainers come from different parts of the Philippines. And so they created those goggles that they in turn brought to their communities. And then what happened last year, of course everybody knows about this, is Typhoon Haiyan. So what happened then is that a lot of cities in Visayas actually lost their homes, there's no electricity. And what's nice about the solar bottles there is that those bottles that were created initially by the TESTA people were brought to those places, and that provided light to the communities. So again, somebody asked earlier, who among you received a second funding from the same source? So that actually happened to them again, because we thought that this is a great idea, and cities in the Philippines started requesting for these solar bottles that were very effective in providing lights to homes. So I'd like to show you this video and to tell you more detail on what I'm talking about.
Well, ito nga isang pinapangarap namin sa yung mga taong nandito ngayon na magkaroon ng kahit kaunting ilaw na kasi mga ilang araw na rin kami nagtitis sa dilim. So, ito sa tingin ko mga tao yun, so, excited sila makita ng gabi may liwanag naman ng kahit kaunti. Dati daanan to. Ayun wala. Well, una, hindi ko inisip kung ano man ang naging epekto sa akin ng bagyong yon. Ang ano lang dito, may katungkulan ako, responsibilidad sa barangay dahil ako nga yung barangay chairman dito. So, ang una lang, ang ano ko na lang dyan is tinanggap namin kung anong nangyari at bawat tulong naman, kahit gaano kalaki, gaano kaliit, niyayakap namin.
Dito, halo-halo kami. Merong mga taga-ibang barangay, merong taga-ibang barangay at meron ding hindi taga-barangay namin na nakahalo dito sa amin. Kasi kung may ilaw, maliwanag lahat. Ito may posibilidad kasi may mga bata nga. Pag natumba yan na walang makakita, pwedeng magkasunog. Ayun, yun din ang nakakatakot dito. Pag may kandila na nakalimutang patayin kung ano na, pwede rin yung mag-cause ng sunog.
Ginagawa namin is ano kung pwede nating turuan ng tao kung paano gumawa ng isang solar light, kasi yun ang pinaka essential dito kasi wala ng linya, wala ng kuryente.
Ito'y malaking tulong sa amin, lalo na sa akin. Dahil nagsusulat ako gabi-gabi, wala namang kuryente. Hinahandwritten ko na lahat ng ginagawa ko handwritten. So malaking tulong to sa amin. Sa aming lahat, hindi lang sa akin. Lalo na sa may mga anak na maliliit.
hindi kami makapaniwala. Ganun pala to, so liwanag po ng daan namin. So parang nung dating kaba na dumadaan ka sa dilim, wala na siguro ngayon dahil sobrang maliwanag na maliwanag. Kita po naman natin pagbabago.
Solar, made by the people, made here in Tacloban. At maganda po dito is very madaling gayahin. Natapos nila to within 2 days namin ginawa sa Tesla, in partnership with Tesla dito sa Tacloban. At dito lang namin, 1 oras lang namin naikabit, pininturahan lang namin yung post at nakatayo na siya. So itong nangyayari dito, isang revolution to. Kasi yung tao mismo ang humahanap ng paraan upang umangat. Tapos ginagamit pa itong tipong technologies.
Let me single out a couple more people if I can, please. Elac Diaz, who I just was introduced to over here, standing beside his light fixture over there, is not only a brilliant innovator and an entrepreneur, but he's a generous human being. Elac took recycled materials and he made handheld, environmentally friendly, very simple solar lights, turning soda bottles into something that can be useful, into light for people to be able to have in their homes.
Once again, I'd like to thank the U.S. Embassy, especially they're the ones that came to, usually you're the one who writes the proposal, but there are times that they really come to you, and using social media, you never know who's out there listening. And I'd like to constantly thank the support of the Filipino Embassy, and of course, this wouldn't have been possible without them. They were able to gather a crowd of alumni that helped me build the lights, and so we were the first ones to be able to light the village. And that's the power of social media. And I'm just really grateful that there was a way for me, not knowing who would be out there, to be able to listen to me. And I think I have more experts, more than YouTube and Facebook that I used. There's so many more media that are out there to make your message and your cause heard, not only disaster, but for those things that need long-term effort to be able to be solved. So I'll pass you over to our experts.
Thank you. So we can go ahead and pull up the PowerPoint. Okay, so he just shared a really great example of how we can use social media as one tool, especially in marketing and especially with connecting with different constituents like funders. But I also want to tell you about some other tools that are going to help you directly in building out your projects from where they are right now. And I get really, really excited about this stuff, so you'll forgive me if I get overly excited and I start tripping over my words and all that. Okay, so, alright, so some top tools. The first thing I'm going to talk about is project management and collaboration. So you guys are all at a point right now in your projects where you sort of got your idea down, you're starting to shape out some of the concepts, some of the outcomes that you want to get to, and now you sort of need to start writing down what are the next steps, what are some of the milestones that we need to hit. So this first tool is called Asana, A-S-A-N-A, and it's just asana.com. It's a free tool for up to 15 people, so your group should be 7 or less. And it's all about project management. You can also use it as a CRM tool if you would like to. I'm going to play a quick video. If you can hit play for me, just to introduce you to what Asana is and how you can use this to build out your next steps in your projects. Oh, not that one. If you could just click the slide.
We built Asana. Asana is the modern way to work together. A web application that helps you keep track of what you and your teammates are working on without getting in your way. The application is organized into 3 panes. On the left is the list of your workspaces and the projects in the current workspace. When you add people to your team's workspace, they get access to all of the projects. In the center is the name of the selected project and the checklist of tasks in that project. Expand the right pane to edit task details like the assignee, due date, and comments. To hear from you.
Okay, so this is also a really great tool for when you all leave and go back to your respective countries for how you can continue collaborating from across different oceans and lands. So another thing that you saw towards the end was how they had different milestones. So one thing that I encourage all of you to do and use with this tool is create milestones for not only this weekend, but also milestones for the next couple weeks, so that you can judge your progress along the way. And you can say, okay, we expected to have, X amount of in funding by this date, and you can put in different milestones of, all right, we want $5,000 by June 5th, then by May 1st, we want to have at least $1,000. And so then you can actually add in different stop dates, so that if you don't have that funding, then maybe you need to sort of reevaluate the process that you're taking. So that's a sum. The second thing is Evernote. So this is a great way to collaborate online with cloud storage for different, you can have to-do lists, you can have just like online collaborating documents. So just another place to store some of your files. So evernote.com. And then so that gets into data and file sharing. Dropbox, free for the first 2 gigs, and then if you invite people and they sign up, you get, I think, 500 megabytes for each person that you add. So another way to get some great free storage. Again, as you're collaborating, great place to store things. Google Docs. So as you are editing documents collaboratively, you can see in real time how edits are made. You can go into the track changes and see different versions. And another great storage place. So I recommend having either Google Docs or Dropbox in terms of your file storage, because you really don't need both. Another really cool one is Live Minutes. So especially if you're working with clients and you want to work collaboratively on a document, I recommend Live Minutes versus Google Docs. Google Docs can sometimes be seen as something a little bit more informal. Another benefit of Live Minutes is that it actually integrates your Skype account. So you can call people on Skype while you're doing almost like a screen sharing platform, and then it's all in real time. So, all right, so this next part, so for your pitches on Monday, bringing along something visual. So these next 2 are some really easy, free ways to create, 1, a landing page, and then 2, a website, which might not be by Monday. But so this site called LaunchRock is a landing page. So basically, once you have a domain, you literally spend 5 minutes just creating a landing page that will start generating buzz for your concept without having to spend a lot of time and money on building out an actual website. Once you do get to that second page, or that second step, Wix.com has these really amazing, already pre-templated forms for then how you can create a drag and drop website, and then it also allows you to go into the back end and edit the HTML code if you would like to do so. So next is a little bit of sales in the CRM. So as you're tracking different ways to get your funding, so if you're, as we talked about earlier, it's very relationship based, and so needing to track how all of those different conversations come about, where you are with talking with Susie versus David. There's a couple of free CRM tools. One is Zoho. Zoho.com. That is such a great question. Customer relationship management. Is this free? Free, yep, all of these are free. Up to a certain level. But usually it's, once everything's up and going, very, very strong. All right, Zoho, and then another thing is Yesware. So Yesware actually is a direct plugin for Gmail. So it's a CRM that actually, once if you're using Gmail, when somebody sends something to your Gmail address, it automatically updates within the files to show one email tracking, so you can see all in one slot how many times you've emailed Susie and what those next steps are. And then also tracks different like latest events and milestones with that customer. And then gives you an activity report for if somebody's a prospect versus having a closed funding case. Okay, Reportive is my favorite. So it's another Gmail plugin. And again, with this whole relationship-based selling. So what happens is, once you scroll over somebody's name and email address, it pulls in wherever that email address is linked to somebody's social media. So you'll see that this is linked to his Facebook and his LinkedIn and his Blogger account and also his Twitter. And then you can follow him on Twitter right away, you can add him on Facebook right away, you can add him on LinkedIn right away. So without having to go to those 3 separate sites, it automatically pulls it up and you just click follow, add friend, connect, all in one place. Boomerang is free. I think it's 10 Boomerang emails a month. So this is when you get an email and you're like, okay, I really need to respond to this, but I don't have time now, but I know that if I don't file it somewhere or write it down, I'm going to forget to respond. So what Boomerang does, again, another Gmail plugin, is that it allows you to say, send me this message again in 5 days, or in 2 weeks, or on May 5th. So you just click Boomerang, and then the date that you want it to come back, and it'll show up at the top of your inbox on that date. Okay, so those are just a few tools to help you sort of get into the next steps. I'm sure there are ones, though, that I do not know of. So are there any burning at your minds that you would like to share with me? Slash everyone else?
There's one over here, sir.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Here, I'll give you one.
Well, another one that I know of is Google Drive. It has a lot of space, so if anyone wants to share about via Google Drive, it's very convenient.
Awesome. And it's actually the same thing as Google Docs. You're just more updated than I am. Yeah.
There's one, I would say it's like database system as well to send campaign to emails from other places that we have. So this is called MailChimp. So for me, I think it's very good system where it can connect with Gmail as well as you can send campaign, send maybe newsletter to your friends or your team members or your organizations.
Awesome. So it's MailChimp. Yeah.
This one I was hoping to mention is SurveyMonkey. I don't know if you know it, but it's basically a free tool and it's amazing for any questionnaires, any feedback from your participants as well as from your sponsors. So just make sure.
Out your project and to create milestones and to create to-do lists and tasks with your team, make the commitment to stick to using it. Because if you spend all that time putting everything into this project management platform, and then you don't make the commitment to every day going in and seeing, okay, what did I commit to do? What are my to-do lists for today? How is Susie doing? How's Dave doing on their project? If you don't make that commitment to actually use the tool, then it will not help you at all. So that's my one piece of advice, and then I'm going to turn it over to the lovely Ms. Whitney.
So just to follow up on what Sarah said, social media is overwhelming. If you go to Wikipedia, there are over 300 different social media tools, and new ones are being created every day. We are just talking that we don't even know all of these tools. And so how many of you feel overwhelmed? How do you know, show your hand if you feel overwhelmed by social media. It's okay, because there are so many different things you can do. We talked about MailChimp, and there's Constant Contact is another way that you can do e-newsletters and things like that. So like Sarah said, pick one and stick with it. I would also say you don't have to do all of them a big mistake that I see organizations make, whether it's a big corporation or a small school, is trying to do it all and getting spread thin. So you want to be smart and strategic, and you want to keep in mind who your audience is. So if you are trying to reach grandmas and grandpas that are in rural areas, even though Twitter is really cool, should you be using Twitter? Probably not. So you have to think strategically about your audience and how they want to communicate with you and receive information. So we were going to share, going back to your example, which tools you use, because you're not using 300, and how they're getting results for you.
So immediately I went on Facebook and created a campaign page for Facebook. And this one I was able to put what I was asking for, you be very specific, and also very importantly is, if you don't have, the second one is PayPal. So if you don't have a means to transfer your money, so but the first thing I put up was Facebook and PayPal. The second one I put up was YouTube, and I had what is called a channel. So slowly I can create this kind of continuous videos to show people that we were doing good work. So those were the 3 months. Now, one of the most important ones that I learned about was called Kickstarter. And Kickstarter, although I was not able to do it in time because the embassy was able to send me funds, the greatest Kickstarter. But it's a great way to fund source. But they don't do it for a cause, so you have to give something back, like a t-shirt or a video. And so Kickstarter is a great way. And then there's Indiegogo. Indiegogo, that you don't necessarily have to give back a product. You can give back a picture. Anyway, these are the 2 great funding platforms that we did. So as far as my experience was immediately go out on Facebook. The second one is to have a PayPal account. Now, if you don't have a PayPal account, then because you're not a registered NGO, you can partner with somebody who's a registered NGO. So there should be nothing in this world. You know, the greatest I said the power of individuals now is you can make things happen. You can make things happen across borders, especially since you know each other. And so if anything happens or you have a great cause, the other one is the email. It looks simple, but just, I'm still learning, but just email and tag your friends. That is what basically was able to raise funds. And each and every person has a huge number of followers. So just tagging the right number of people, not everyone, but the right people, will be able to get you more and more, become more and more visible. And right now we raised about $300,000 US just on that Facebook campaign and the YouTube campaign. So don't underestimate it because it's a very powerful campaign. But we used it all up because 3.3 million people without houses. And the last campaign is Hayan Solar Village on AEIF. Please vote for it because we need your votes.
All right, everyone, do you have any final questions about online tools, technology, social media? Got all your answers? So social media is a part of marketing, and we're going to talk about marketing more in another session. Yeah, what's your question?
Yeah, my question is about
sometimes I want to advertising something in Facebook, but if you share too many things in your own, people will think that you are spamming, and sometimes it will cause people annoying. So I want to ask about how to balance between positive and negative impacts, and how to do it smartly that people will be happy instead of annoying. Thank you.
Good question. So we have to remember these tools, they're called social media. They were not intended for corporations. They were not intended for nonprofits and NGOs. They're for people, for our friends, right? And so I think you have to treat it the same way. How many times will you call your friend? You have to be smart, and there is a balance, and the balance is different for everyone and every organization. A company like Starbucks, for example, can tweet out constantly. They have a full-time employee, one person. They used to have one person managing Twitter. He might be tweeting every hour. I haven't looked in a long time. But is that appropriate for a small NGO? Probably not. So the fact that you're thinking about that is really great, because we do have to find the balance of communication. He was saying that even email works. I think that in this day and age of technology in the US, people are so overwhelmed with technology and email. Some people are going back to using the phone. Some people are going back to using snail mail, direct mail, paper mail, because you can get people's attention that way. So we have to use these social media tools in the broader context of all of our marketing communications options. Thank you for that question. My team at Jugo, we were talking about personal brands and how to use social media personally and also professionally, because I think most of us, you know, I teach, and so I have social media responsibilities with that hat on, and then I also am an author of a book, and I have a separate Facebook page for my book, so I have to think about that. And then, you know, my mom and my brother want to talk to me and find out what's going on in Malaysia right now, so I have to, again, think strategically. I'm one person, I'm not these 3 different people, so how do I carefully think of my personal brand, how I'm going to communicate myself in all these different things that I want to do. People in my team too, you know, they're athletes and musicians, so how do they communicate those passions and then also infuse that into their project or their nonprofit passions? So I encourage you to look at how other people are doing that. Go look at people that you admire. In the US, you know, a lot of women really like Oprah. And Oprah has done amazing work in Africa for the university that she started. So she will tweet about that, she will post about that on Facebook, but she will also take a picture of dinner that she had and make a fun comment. So you can use social media in powerful ways to get people to support you, to get money, but you can also use it to be a human and communicate and be really honest about yourself. Any other questions about social media tools, online technology? Are you guys all wiped out? LinkedIn? Anybody use LinkedIn? LinkedIn, I know that my university students, they quickly, when they're in my class, they connect with me on LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is good, but I think face-to-face contact is great. I have people that will contact me out of nowhere on LinkedIn, and I'm a little more skeptical than someone that I know in person. But it's a powerful tool. I also know people that have been able to get jobs and internships on LinkedIn, so you can tap into anyone. My college students were working on a project in my class, and do you know the store Abercrombie and Fitch? So they wanted to contact a vice president for their project. They just jumped on LinkedIn, started chatting with a vice president. So that is a very powerful connection tool. So I think you guys, your energy is a little low, right? Okay, so we're going to wrap up. We're going to do 2 things. The first thing that we're going to do is we want to take a big group picture for Obama, and we want you guys to come join us on stage. We need all our mentors up here and everybody else. Yeah.
Just quickly, employers now, let's say it's in your resume, they sometimes check your Facebook and your please, if you have anything there that is embarrassing or I just want to say that, you know, this is your public or your virtual profile. They don't know you. They will sometimes they will check sometimes, but I can tell you most often, if you're like competing between 2 probable candidates, sometimes they will check up on you. So if you have anything in your Facebook or anything online which you think will compromise your future or can compromise your future in the later on, please take it down. Second one, your email. If you have a cute email from your high school, like sweetie pie 123, or I am forever yours. Please take it down and have a real professional email. There's a point in your life where this has to, you have to leave it behind, And so there, very careful with your Facebook profile, especially those that are entering into careers where other people will be, you will be managing people. Take it down. So that's a little, that's a very important thing to do, which is you have to leave high school behind. College.